old CCP office way down closer to the docks. Watching COVID start to unfold, actually, it was that critical week where you might remember COVID was a thing in China, and it was starting to be a thing in Italy, and it was kind of popping up everywhere. And by the end of our week-long summit here, we were flying back watching closures and international borders getting zipped up. So they sent us home just in time. I think the United States closed their international borders like 2 days after I got back from the CSM summit.
Oh, shit.
But one of the things that happens at the CSM summit is, we have a meeting with a lot of devs. That happens constantly. There was one in particular in which Hilmar came down and sat down and looked around the room and just said, "I am in a room full of superhumans." Now, first thought when that happened was I looked around and said, that's a weird thing to say. I wouldn't consider myself a superhuman. I would consider some of the other CSM superhumans, and certainly some of the more CSMs that I've gotten to meet since my time on the management council. Some of them are definitely superhumans. But it prompted that thought. What did Hilmar mean? Was he right? And I began to think on it. One of the things that, as you get to know the rest of your CSM and you get to talk more and more, I realized that a lot of the CSMs on CSM 14 were pretty powerful people. We had corporate executives, we had PhDs, we had a doctor, we had people that are leaders and movers and shakers in their career field. And from my experience chatting with a lot of other CSMs besides 14, that's not uncommon. And then you begin to dig and talk to a lot of other people that are leaders in EVE themselves. They're FCs, they're alliance leaders, they're corp leaders of some of the both smallest and largest corporations, and you start to see some patterns. Now, the question that I first started with was, how much of each thing is impacting the other? I don't think anyone would be surprised if I said someone that's an executive or a leader outside of EVE is likely to come into EVE and be a leader there too. That's interesting, and we're not going to focus on that because I'm far more concerned with the reverse. I wanted to find out how many people played EVE, learned some things, and then carried that back to their career where they didn't have that first. So the questions we're going to dive into are, how can things that you do in EVE help you outside of it? What are those skills? How do they help? We're going to so the goal of my presentation here really is to try to give you some answers to that question. I tried to build a presentation that would be helpful and insightful to as many people as possible, because your mileage may vary. I'm not getting up here and saying, do these things, you'll get promoted. Do these things, and you'll get a really cool new job. But I think what we are going to talk about is, do these things in EVE, and you're probably learning stuff. I don't want to ruin EVE for everybody, because if you suddenly realize that you're learning things, that might make it way less fun. But the bad news is you probably already are. Maybe whether you knew it or not, you've learned something from logging in and doing things in EVE. And you've probably picked up some skills, and you might just be a better person, whether you want to admit it or not. So we're going to focus and talk about what are some of those
skills, piece of work,
the ways that you can learn them, and maybe you already are, and how those skills might in fact just be something that you can leverage. So everything that we're going to talk about here today comes from three main places. I use the basis of my own personal experience and career, of course, as a foundation for figuring out where I wanted to poke into, talk to people. What are the questions I wanted to specifically find answers for? I interviewed a lot of other EVE players. I conducted well over 70 different interviews, some very formal, some less formal, with people all over different organizations, every part of space you can think of, every block of corporations. I went all over the place trying to get a nice, varied background of different people. I talked to doctors, I talked to engineers, I talked to truck drivers, I talked to people that repair medical robots. There you go, Piyalp. I talked to people that work in retail. I talked to people that are chefs. I talked to people that are bartenders. We tried to go everywhere because my goal is to convince you that no matter what you actually do outside of EVE, you are learning things that are probably helpful. I had a survey If you took it, thank you very much. We got several hundreds of people to come take a admittedly little lengthy survey about what do you do outside of Eve? What do you do in Eve? Tell me about both of those things. I got feedback, too many questions about some different skills. Do you think you learned something? Do you think it came back and helped you in other places? But that also helped me provide a guide on people I wanted to talk to. And the great news is I found overwhelming support suggesting that the answer is yes. Almost everyone that took my survey said in some way they learned something that they think they were able to bring back to their job. Sometimes it helped immensely. Sometimes they thought it helped a little, but everybody said they learned something. So what I did with all of that is we tried to look, and I tried to tailor it and correlate it to a list that might make sense outside of Eve. So I went to the Forbes 2023 Most In-Demand Skill Workforce Survey, which is intended to be universal, regardless of who you are, where you are, and what you're doing, or where you work. These are skills that you're going to find helpful. Those skills are communication, leadership, teamwork, creativity, time management, adaptability, problem solving, work ethic, critical thinking, conflict management, and emotional intelligence. So we've got a pretty cool list here. I'm going to hope and assume that most people know what most of those words are, because reading you the wiki definition of every single one would be time consuming and probably rather boring. Although the one thing I did want to touch on, simply because when I first started, this initial feedback I got was emotional intelligence. We're Eve players, you know. Your thought when you're thinking about Eve players might not be emotional intelligence, but I can assure you that when I asked them about it, I was able to get several people go, you know what, I do care a little bit about other people. Or, you know what, I do know how to pretend that I care about other people just a little bit. So Eve players can get those done too.
What's UI scaling?
Now, basing it off of my survey, the roles that we're going to touch on, and I looked at, by far not an all-inclusive list, broke down into four main categories. We have leadership roles, your CEO, your director. Depending on the size and way that your group is organized, you might have officers or a layer of middle management. We looked at industry and logistics, which I defined mostly as people that are building things and moving them around. This logistics is specifically the moving it around part and not repping other ships. That's also useful, but probably less likely to directly correlate because running around your workplace trying to heal people might be strange.
I gotta catch you up to date.
That was so, and this is not all the roles that we looked at and talked about in a survey, but for the sake of time and not having a million slides, I condensed it into the ones that had stronger correlation.
I want a better presentation. That before was better. It's probably wrapping up.
But also be a little easier to explain.
2 more hours.
So we touched on people that work in solo industry, people that worked with lots of other people.
Oh, it's hesitating. See, streaming works better on
working on supply chain management, material coordination, market managers, people that run buyback programs. The third category is people management. There's, of course, the possibility for significant overlap between all of these. But whether it's the same person doing half the things on this list for your organization or a small army may depend on the size as well as how you've organized yourself. These are roles and functions.
There's definitely a lot of micromanagement, man.
These are your recruiters.
Yeah.
Talk to people, review applications. These are people that work in onboarding. These are people that track your membership. Are they active? Are they doing enough? Are they clicking their PAP links? And these are people that do culture fit assessments. Are these the right people for our corporate? Do I want to be flying with these people? Do I want to throw them out a window? And then probably the category that most of you actually first thought about, I called it operations. These are your fleet commanders. These are people that are helping run roles supporting the fleet commander, making the fleet successful. These are people that plan the fleets. Might be the FC doing literally all these things, but sometimes these are different people, or at the very least, they're different skills. And then you have your theory crafters. You've got your people that are figuring out what are we doing, how are we going to do it, which of these modules goes on my ship. There's people that know enough to shout at your bad corp members when they die, and ones that are fit terribly, terribly wrong. So the first group that we're going to look at, and for some of those, I'm going to have a slide that grabs just one, and for some of them, I'm going to have a slide that tries to condense it, all depending on what the results looked like. Now, what we found, talking to people as well as from the survey results, was regardless of what level you're operating at as a leader in your group, chances are you're learning the same skills. The exact degrees, some leaned a little heavier and others did vary, but not enough to be worth splitting this up. So whether we're looking at CEOs, we're looking at officers, or we're looking at directors, these are people that are responsible for setting the goals and directions of your corporation and utilizing delegation and collaboration. They're going to try to make those things happen. These people had the strongest likelihood of saying that they felt that they had learned and or improved on their leadership skills, their work ethic, their problem-solving skills, and their communication skills. Probably not a huge surprise, especially the first one. If anyone's shocked that CEOs said I learned leadership skills, I've got tons of surprises for you in my presentation then if that one surprises you. But I also have a quote from someone that indicated that this is something they would define themselves on for each of these slides. We're going to touch on what the roles were, how I defined them, the skills that they correlated with, and then I've got a quote that some people saying that they're actually really getting something done. So for the people, I believe this was a CEO, Eve helped me trust myself and my skills enough to start my own business. When I look at what I've been able to deal with in Eve, the problems of my job seem like nothing. I actually really like this quote. I like all the quotes, that's why I chose them. But depending on what you do in Eve, you might actually have defined your time in Eve as your second job before. Show of hands, who else has ever thought that what they do in Eve is a second job?
For a while.
That's a good chunk of the audience.
15
so
years.
You guys are doing great. But Eve can be hard. Eve can be very hard. People in Eve can be very hard.
Well,
I'm not going to keep asking everyone to raise their hands up and down. A couple of you made faces that you said, I hate this, don't call on me again. But I think I've had more difficult people to work with in Eve than I have in my workplace, which is probably a blessing. There's certainly people that can say, oh, that is not true for where I work, and I'm sorry for you. But that's true for definitely some of my experiences in Eve. There are some rough individuals that play Eve. We might love them, but they're rough. So being able to do things in Eve hopefully helps recognize you can probably do.
Oh, it's hanging up here. He got cut off. They cut him off. Jesus, I'm out of money, man. Oh, Jesus.
Do a lot of that in real life. People and say, guys, this is what we're doing over the next couple of months, and then work with them to get that done. Chances are you could do that outside of Eve too. You might not want to, especially if you have to sit near people and smell them and things. But if you're here at FanFest, you're already smelling people. So
It's digressing bad here.
Rolling into our next category, we're going to have a couple slides on some industry and logistic roles. The first one that I wanted to start off with, that actually surprised me a little bit, but only until you start thinking about it, was people that do industry by themselves. If you're here at FanFest, there's a good chance that you're not a solo player. There certainly could be some out there, but most people that make it to FanFest are usually people here with groups. So this may or may not apply to you. Or maybe you're in a group, but you don't like those guys, so they don't get to touch your minerals and you're building all your stuff by yourself. Where's the tritanium? This makes collaborating with people very challenging sometimes. But people that are solo industry players, they're tackling potentially complex jobs that might include a lot of steps, that might have prerequisites, and they're usually doing this by themselves. So these people, through my interviews and discussions, identified strongly with time management skills, critical thinking, adaptability, and problem solving. These are people that need to know how to line things up to be efficient. They need to be able to figure out how to adapt on the fly because they don't have someone else to go lean on and get some of this done for them. It's you. The buck stops with you. If your reactions aren't done on time, that next job's going to sit and wait. Skills I made doing industry helped me set up ordering of medical supplies and equipment, ensuring deadlines and bottlenecks are met as far as material and fiscal inputs are concerned. I thought that was actually a pretty cool quote. I talked to someone that basically talked about how they applied their Eve industry experience to organizing and getting things done. Lots of people had feedback similar to this. There's a lot of things in real life that can be thought of as put a bunch of things together, let them do some things for a little while, get something out. Not everything can be baked down that far, and I would strongly advise against in your head applying the Eve industry UI to everything that you do, but you could if they wanted. But people that did this and did industry by themselves were able to really learn and grow in a lot of different ways because you've got to figure it all out and then get started. I'm sure a lot of you would probably raise your hand that is a definition of something you've done at your job. Figure it all out and get it started. Bouncing to another type of industry and logistics, we've got supply chain management and market management. So these are people that are working with other people. They're building capitals while someone else takes care of some of the components maybe. They're doing reactions and doing reaction chains where other people are handling different steps of that process. These are people that are moving stuff from point A to point B. These are people that are stocking your market. They're getting stuff up on contract. They're making sure that you guys have what
Supply
you need.
chain management suck. They're the
Primary
worst.
skills that these people strongly correlated with were communication and teamwork. Not a surprise, since these are people that are working with other people. Conflict management, problem solving. And I'm wondering why conflict management, because I actually was too when it came up on the survey. And I chatted with several people. Figuring out what everybody wants to do and then making sure they're not all doing the same thing can apparently be rather challenging. If you've got several people that are helping stock your market, first off, the fact that it's more than one, we're all fantastic start, but it doesn't do you any good if they're all talking the same thing. Because now you've got 5 people undercutting each other, trying to make sure that they're the ones selling things, and you've probably underserved your community because all the other crap that you need is not stocked. So the reason that a lot of those people chose conflict management was really a bunch of people getting into them or a channel or voice comms and saying, I want to do this. Figuring out someone's got to do something they don't want to do. There's compromise. There's resolution of some conflict. And there is hopefully an outcome where your group, your market, your whatever it is you're stocking gets what you need. Working with industry that requires multiple people requires patience and an understanding of people's capabilities and limits. Big things require coordination and working with people, and the same is true of almost all careers. So if you've ever found yourself trying to figure out how to get a bunch of people that together have all the right skills to get a job done, and you've managed to get it done, that's great. And that also is pretty agnostic of what you actually do for a living. If your experiences in school with group projects were that they're terrible and you hate people because of it, this is a good way to try to undo some of that PTSD, because most things in life require collaboration and working with other people, whether you want it to or not. As much as you want everything to be a solo venture, chances are that will not always be the case. Rolling into our third category and talking about some people management roles. The first slide I've got here talks about cultural fit assessments and people that work in onboarding. Cultural fit assessments we defined as the person whose job it is to feel out somebody and decide if they're a good or a bad apple.
I didn't do much with
this may or may not be the people doing all of the other things related to interviewing, but it is a distinct step, I thought, because looking at someone's skills and actually talking to them are two very different things. Likewise, people that identified as onboarders had a nearly identical skill profile, so that's why they're together here on the slide. If your group doesn't do onboarding, I would strongly advise trying to do onboarding. We've had other presentations at prior FanFest for sure from different groups talking about their onboarding programs, but making sure that new people that join have what they need, know what they need, and know where to go to ask questions generally has a pretty strong correlation with likelihood of longer-term membership and smooth integration into your crew. People working in these roles strongly identified with critical thinking, work ethic, emotional intelligence, told you it would come up, and conflict resolution. Mostly the cultural fit assessment, I thought, but onboarders also had it too. When you're trying to work with someone, first trying to figure out, do I want to fly with this person at all? And then, all right, we got to fly with them. How do I make sure they don't suck? You end up talking to them. It requires figuring out what do they want, what do they need, and resonating that to match what you want and what you need, or rather your group wants and your group needs. Closing that gap and being able to get everyone onto the same page is the main reason that we have emotional intelligence up here. Working and assessing fit into an organization helped me understand that oftentimes the best way to solve a problem is to avoid having it in the first place. That's a good quote of virtually everything, but in the context of this slide, that was specifically raised to me as far as keeping bad apples out of a corporation. I suspect this is a lesson that many different groups and leaders and organizations and EVE have had to learn, probably the hard way at least once. Toxic people are bad. And you might say, but I need more people. You never need people enough that you should be tolerating people that are bad. The damage that can be caused internally by someone that is negative, hard to deal with, and makes other people want to literally not play with you, might mean that when you take a step back, you realize you're literally at a net negative for letting this person be in your fleet. And recognizing that before they're in your group can be important. And that was what this quote was specifically talking about, but hopefully a lesson that you can learn both in EVE, and if you're in a position to ever be doing so, I'd advise about keeping bad people out of your real life organizations as well, because it's rarely ever worth that.
What's your definition?
So we've got people management working with recruiters and applications. So these are the people that are going to sit there and go, you don't get to fly with us. These are talent acquisition. These people that work on finding recruits, whether that's spamming in local chat, posting on Reddit, using in-game recruiting function. You're finding people that want to join your group, and then you're talking to them, making sure they know what you're about, figuring out if they want to come join you. And then you'll interview them and review their application, all depending on what your group does, how strict your requirements are. The bar could be way up here, or maybe if they can breathe, they're joining your corp. And most groups in EVE are somewhere in between there. We can probably all think of groups on both ends of that spectrum. Most corps are definitely somewhere in the middle. But that's a very real thing. And the people that do this in EVE generally had strong critical thinking skills, strong work ethic skills, again, emotional intelligence, because their work here relies immensely on just understanding other people's wants and needs and expressing their own, and communication, because they're spending a lot of time talking to people. Work ethic, I wanted to just touch on the reason we have work ethic up here is a lot of them said, well, recruiting's a lot of work. Maybe you have deadlines or targets. We want to recruit X number of people. Maybe you have a lot of people applying to your corporation, and the people that you've got to review and talk to are piling up. These are people that, just generally speaking, said they know how to buckle down and get stuff done. And they know how to consistently do that to try to keep everything moving. One of the, I think, only quotes that I actually have a name attached to it. Either people left me useful quotes but didn't give me contact information, wishing to remain anonymous on my survey, or in my interviews would say, you can quote me but leave my name off that slide. I don't know if they were worried; they just didn't want to be associated with me. But I did get a couple people that said they didn't want their name up here. So I actually use these skills in real life to hire support staff and even help with selection of physicians and other
next presentation.
clinical support roles. I don't know if they're here. I asked one of the Wingspan guys, and he said he didn't know. But this quote is from Nikki Akala, who works in HR for Wingspan. Another one of my surprises that's probably not a surprise. Eve's a great place to just hone and practice and leverage some of those skills that you may or may not be using outside, but it's a place where you get to sit down on a table and interview people or talk to people and find out if you like them, if they like you. I don't have a quote here, but I can tell you at least 5 of the people I spoke to specifically mentioned that they felt like interviewing people in Eve made them better at interviewing in real life on both sides of the table, because you're sitting down and talking to someone and just figuring out, I want a job here, I want to fly with these guys, or I'm figuring out if I want them to fly with me. Maybe the word is not fly, but you do that a bunch in your job probably, especially if you work in any sort of hiring manager roles or team lead roles where you're trying to figure out people that you want on your team or you want on your company. Rolling into the last category that I had for roles set up, and starting right off with probably the role that I'm not sure which one's higher, CEO or Fleet Commander, probably the other role that everyone immediately thought to when I said roles in Eve. The Fleet Commander. I'll also note this is the only slide where I have 5 skills attributed to it, because Fleet Commanders had such correlations across the board with a lot of roles that it was challenging to pick just 4. Because I think I did mention it, but these are not only skills these roles help you with, they're just the strongest, because telling you that every skill or every role helps with every skill would be terribly unhelpful. But the definition of Fleet Commander that we use is these are the people that are responsible for calling out actions, directing and driving groups of people towards a common goal, and that goal might sometimes be complex. I'm sure if everyone just closes their eyes for a moment, they can hear their Fleet Commander shouting at them to jump or not jump, or wondering who jumped, or asking why did someone already shoot the target and now we need to unlock and move to another one. It's every fleet. I heard several giggles. Like, it's not just my corp's not the only one that's bad at PvP. I don't believe you if you try to tell me otherwise. But fleet commanders, they do a lot. They've got a lot of stress running on them sometimes. They've got a lot of people sitting there patiently, or hopefully patiently, actually paying attention to when they get told what to do. And they need to do a lot of thinking, and they need to do it quickly. So fleet commanders get 5 skills: critical thinking, adaptability, creativity, leadership, and teamwork. Fleet commanders need to be good at communicating too. It was a close contender to be, because if your FC can't communicate, they're probably not doing any FCing ever again. But they need to be able to think quickly. They need to be able to make good decisions. Need to be creative, because sometimes you go on in and you said this plan, and you take that Titan bridge and you go, oh, when D-Scan lights up with what the fleet is bringing. And now you need a whole new plan. They're leaders, and they with teams. So probably the rest of those skills none of the skills are probably surprises. But fleet commanders get an awful lot of variance in an awful lot of different places. My quote from an FC: fleet commanding was how I learned to build trust and reliability within my teammates. And these are skills that I've successfully carried into managing people outside of teams. Not a quote from me, but I probably could have written it, because I would say something very similar. I work with managing people for a living. I work on making sure they have everything they need, giving direction where needed, and there is immense strong overlap with things I do both as a CEO and a fleet commander. I'm not our good fleet commander, though. He's someone else. Next up, I've got ops planning. Very similar to fleet commanders as far as the role breakdown goes, but I did want to call them out because they had at least one. They had a couple differences there. And again, fleet commanders had very strong correlation across the board. board. I could have put all 11 skills up there, but it would have been less helpful. Ops planners are people that may or may not be the FC, but they're helping figure out what we're doing ahead of time. This might be planning just tonight's op. This might be planning the entire week. When are we hitting what? When are we going to need to follow up on timers? They're heavily involved with ensuring a group's operations run on time and move and run effectively. They've got leadership, just like the FCs did. They've got work ethic. They've got time management, and they're adaptable. Timing can be very important when it comes to planning. Most plans, at least in EVE, do have some semblance of time to them. But being able to figure out how long are things going to take, how long is getting there going to take, and, the wormhole's gone, now we need a new plan. And, figuring out how to adapt when your route has changed twice, because now your Titan's also dead, and you need to figure out how we're getting there differently. Planning and helping execute operations helped me build planning skills and learn attention to detail. I have been able to directly translate those skills to mapping out install jobs and ensuring proper staffing and resource allocation. So, again, I thought a pretty cool quote. This person worked in construction, and in my conversation with them, they said that literally I've taken figuring out how I'm going to glass this constellation of structures and taken some of the skills I've learned from that on moving all the pieces and parts around and actually carried that back to my job. We've got theory crafting. Theory crafting is an interesting one in that I think your first thought might be, how does that apply to anything that's not figuring out how to make spaceships? But then you think on it more and realize it actually starts to make a lot of sense, especially after, we touch on the quote. Maybe this applies more to some fields than others, but I got a lot of people that talked about how that overall min-maxing optimization mindset was able to be applied everywhere. These are people that build your doctrines. They figure out how to fit your ships. They might yell at you when you don't listen and fit your ship something differently. And they adjust to the game changes, both mechanics and the game, to ensure that whatever you're flying is as efficient as possible, keeping the price in mind. These are critical thinkers. They solve problems. They're adaptive and they're creative. And figuring out... Screen keeps dying on me. There we go. Figuring out how to min-max something and find the perceived best solution problem with hundreds of variables has helped me tackle similarly complicated things in my engineering career. Probably no big surprise to someone that engineering was where this quote came from, but being able to just take a couple steps back and look at the big picture with all the different parts, changes, things that need to happen, and figuring out how to navigate through that is not unique to EVE. It's not unique to EVE. It's not unique to just ship fitting. And I strongly believe that if you learn some of those skills and work and just what is the best way to put all these pieces together, it's going to work. That is a real ship fit that I have seen used by someone in my alliance, in case you're wondering where that came from. Not on the list from Forbes, but something I wanted to touch on was hard skills. The hard skills that we specifically peeked at was data collection, analysis, statistics. I got a lot of people saying that they'd picked up these skills in EVE. The first grouping, Google Docs, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, and other similar software that does data entry and processing. A lot of people we talked to actually said one of the first places they really, really used those things was in EVE. And many of them now use them in their job, even if they didn't have to, because they are now addicted to spreadsheets. Look what EVE has done to us. Almost everybody said in some fashion they used this, but the roles that had the highest likelihood of saying, yes, I used that for both my job and in my EVE job, literally every industry role, didn't matter what kind of industry you were doing, huge surprise. If you're doing industry without spreadsheets, I'm slightly concerned. Operations planners, theory crafters, and people that worked in onboarding. If you're wondering why onboarding's up there, my conversations with the people that checked that box was they basically use them to make checklists, use them to track where people are at in their different onboarding pipes, and they're using that to figure out who needs what. Likewise, people that learned and evolved in analyzing data and learning statistics, theory crafters, fleet commanders, op planning, and people that work, again, all industry roles were likely to have gotten involved in analyzing lots of data and making some decisions based on those analytics. So, per the Forbes list, there's our 11. I attached one quick end towards the end for the hard skills. What we've done now is we've created a mapping of where am I most likely to improve my time management skills? Where am I most likely to be able to work and do some things that might help me learn and improve my creativity or my leadership or my critical thinking? I'm not going to read the entire slide, of course, but what we've got here is the 12 different skills that we touched on, along with what roles that I talked about that had the strongest relation to them. I, of course, will again note, basically almost every role that we looked at had some people that said they used XYZ skills in it. If you're doing anything in EVE, there's a good chance you're learning several of these. So this is not an exhaustive list or a prescriptive list, but rather this is intended to come across as a guide that says, I do some of those things. Those are the skills I'm learning and picking up on. Finally, I wanted to just touch on this slide just because it came up enough from conversation that I thought it would be silly not to touch on. There was already another presentation by Max Singularity this weekend that talked about relationships and friendships and networking and things that you can build and grow and learn through EVE. But two things that stood out to me that I felt were especially relevant to this conversation was people that those have helped them in their career. Just over 1 in 5 people that we spoke to and took the survey felt that relationships that they gained through EVE have actually helped them advance their career. Whether that was helping them land a new job in the same field in another company, or just saying, hi, yeah, this is how I learned these skills and got promoted. Here's how you can do it too. These are not direct quotes, but rather paraphrasing of combining lots of conversations on this. But meeting someone that was further along in the same career as me helped me find advancement opportunities, summarizes what all those people gave me as feedback, as well as people actually changed career fields because of EVE, or rather because of people they met in EVE. I've been thinking about moving career, finding someone that already did that helped me decide to make that jump. If you're thinking, I want to know how to break into X, what's better than finding someone that already does X? So 1 in 8 people said that this has happened to them through their time playing EVE. 13%. Not most, maybe not, but given how many people we looked at, I thought it was relevant and interesting enough to bring it up. So, that's wrapping up my presentation. We talked about the questions that started the goals of the presentation. Hopefully everyone feels they learned something, or at least laughed once or twice at some of my bad jokes. How we gathered data, and then I drove in and talked about all the different roles and how they all correlate together. So there is not time for Q&A here. We're not set up for it in the main hall, but if you have questions, comments, feedback,
this presentation's kind of bad.
Talk to me. I'm Exuki Z in game. You can combo me if I'm online. You can shoot me. You can find me as Exuki on Discord, and of course, I will be around for the rest of FanFest. So always happy to talk about this with anybody else. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope that was a good use of your time, and enjoy the rest of FanFest.
Social contacts. Add.
It's amazing how governing a group of players is the same no
matter. He's trying to salvage it. Alright, I'm going to check on that. What's the story of the ship? Let's see. That was the last expansion.
matter where those people, I should say people. Governing a group of people is the same whether they're in kindergarten, Eve, government, a corporation, like whatever. It's the same anywhere. I am CCP Goat. I'm glad and happy to welcome you back to the set here. I am joined once again by Delana, and this time around we have Andrew, Empires of Eve.
That's correct.
Volumes 1 and 2.
Yes.
And soon to be 3.
What is
Something.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yes,
my
this would
difficulty,
be made available to
individual author and a person who runs just like a one-person company. It's really difficult to project myself out like next year because if something goes wrong, my whole company shuts down.
Right, yes.
You know?
yeah. It's there's not a lot of fails. Saves, redundancies when you're a single person company.
No one to help me out.
We were discussing it a little bit how
Wow,
the overlap
cooking.
between these two subject matter controlling.
So that's the. Okay, what's the market data?
Like, I think a group of people through something is the same wherever it is, and people are the same wherever they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why that becomes so important is because that means that the design of the
Oh,
game
it says
is of
the
the
value.
utmost importance.
Oh, it's
The-
cheap.
the
No,
people
285
aren't
million.
responding
Wow.
the same way because they're people necessarily. They're responding the same way because the game is prodding them to respond in the
This is
same way. It's
a,
only
market
giving them a
data.
handful of different options about how they can respond. And so people choose from among those limited options. So you end up with familiar things taking place across a number of different systems.
And it's super interesting. Actually, I wanted to
Look at
point
that.
one thing out. Our
That's a
last
cheap one.
interview here was with
Well, that's better. That's
I can't
450
remember his name, but
million,
he was with
geez.
Project Discovery. I'm not very
Look
good
at
with
that.
names, I'm old. Okay, but I wanted to say he wanted to come send something across. Is that they are
Oh,
planning
that's
to
creepy.
release an app
Okay.
for mobile phones and other devices, which will
Oh.
allow
Session's
science
going to
to
shit.
occur inside of the client.
My
And
session's
that's also
going
something
to
I find
shit.
really interesting is he called it a monkey with like typewriters writing Shakespeare kind of moment. the thing, like that many people created this beautiful thing. The map of sovereignty
shut
that
it
you
down.
were showing in your presentation, that is something that I find beautiful.
It is.
With all the especially if you know the history, intrigue, and the espionage that went into it.
If you learn how to read them, if you learn to see everything happening, it's so thick with consequence. You understand that little colorful blob actually represents 600 people's in-game lives, right? And that it meant so much to them. And when you study the game's
I like
history,
that guy.
that's what you're really studying.
That guy's
Is
cool.
You're studying the human emotion that's involved. You're reading their diary entries, their journal entries. You're hearing their speeches as they talked about it late at night on
Okay.
Discord or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
log
yeah.
off.
And then watching it
I
all
don't
burn
log
down
off.
because one person,
Log off to
One person
character
maybe
selection.
got a
Okay.
little-
I'll do
I don't know, pissed off, angry, bored.
I don't know what you're looking at me for.
that. Hey, they're getting tired.
Who would be the
It's
person
been up 5 hours. It's
here
like,
that has the most experience
it's been
with
going for
something
5 hours and up
something like this
before.
going
Okay,
wrong?
which one can I still try?
Oh yeah, well, not me personally, unless.
87 skill sets complete.
But yeah, being in nullsec,
Yeah, I guess I'll play this one.
yeah,
Ah,
it's all
check this out.
entirely just interpersonal interactions.
Ah,
so it's
I'll
like,
open this one.
We all make the story, and
Oh, good,
yeah,
they're in the
like we're saying,
corpo.
it's just if somebody decides to backstab us, or if we just get in a nice little war, that's we're writing the whole story, and that's still crazy to me. Just instead of just other MMOs, like we're just playing along, they make the story for us to just be part
A
of.
lot of
But
people claim that.
with Eve, we are the story,
That is
Right.
true.
and that's still just amazing to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
this
that
was
makes
just
the game
something
so
special too.
fascinating too, because
I love
of the fact that one player
I
ruined
can
everything
buy
for so
to
many
into
people,
office.
it
We'll see.
makes the game is about making
Yeah, that's
sure that
pretty
that doesn't
expensive.
happen. So it means that part of the strategy of the game has to be about a sort of micro level understanding of each and every pilot, because each person you put into a position of responsibility can be so disastrously consequent if you make the wrong decision. So you need to know who your allies are. You need to know who you're flying with.
Yeah, always
Yeah, exactly.
always
And
out there. Steal and cheat,
when
man.
people are talking
Steal,
about
cheat, and
how
greed.
content is lacking in Eve Online, then the answer is usually just, do you go on?
Alright, I should be able to
Do
train
something.
this one.
Like, do you
I
have
gotta check
access
my
to some
coins,
corporation
too.
hangars? Go out, make history, make some content for yourself.
Let's see, 3
But
hours,
no,
3 hours, 3 hours. Okay.
comes regularly.
Okay.
So coming from a PX background, it is. No, I forgot my point again.
It happens to me constantly. It's so relatable right now, to be honest with
You
you.
guys are fried, man. You guys drank too much yesterday.
Nice people both talking and watching me. It's a little too much sometimes. Too much. I will try and figure out what my point was going to be, but that might take a while. But now that we wrapped up the skills, real life skills from EVE Online panel, there is only one thing left on the stream today. There's still some panels ongoing at FanFest itself, but
That's it for the stream?
the one thing that's left is the closing that's been happening here, both on camera and off. We'll get some statistics about like how the charity things were going and like where we scored on that.
It's partied too much still last night.
Would you say that you've been having fun?
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for. I've been here in 5 years now. You know, with everything that was going on, and also I hadn't been here for a couple of years before all that started, anyways. But this place is now like rich with memory for me. And so we're in a different physical location. We're not at the Harbor this year, right? But still at the same time, being in the city, seeing all the familiar faces, it's a long trip, and it's worth it every time. And I don't always know how it ends up being worth it every single time, because I hate flying so much, and I do it anyways just to come here and be around this whole thing. And it's by the end of the, I've never regretted it. Well, to be honest with you, I've never met anyone who regretted it. Right. Before, so I mean, call it confirmation bias.
That's a thinking, yeah.
Reason to come here, but I agree. Everybody decides to make it and does it. They don't. It's a like even if I grew up here and from here, it's a magical place. Every single almost every corner, like the actual island itself. Not that we go that far from the capital. I can imagine that like, coming all this way to do something for, like, for the game that you like, love, and enjoy, it's going to get better. Really. I mean, especially as I get talking about being older, as I get older as well.
This is a reminder how to lady groups. It's time to shake your tail feather and boot scoop, shake your booty scooty, shake your booty scooty.
Yes, and that is what I weigh the most from FanFest.
This is a reminder how to lady group. It's time to shake your tail feather and boot scoop, shake your booty scooty, shake your booty scooty.
With the in-game photographer Rosori, and just came up to me in the hallway, and we got this chance to just sit down and talk for 20 minutes about the craft of virtual photography. And like that is not the only experience that I've had here, but like realistically, if I had never had that conversation, I'd be so much poorer for it. Yes, and it's those little interactions are what make the trip worth it. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, usually for me, for FanFest, big part, just besides just going to the panels, learning stuff, that's great. But one of my favorite parts is just walking around, just like with my little flag here.
What the hell's the flag?
I love just like.
Sorry, I have to do it. I have to get up to speed on this again. I don't want to get blown out of the sky when I launch.
It's just
the stuff,
it really
the little bit of
adds
stuff I
up
have.
to
Yeah.
just the whole experience.
No, you gotta get
and
alpha.
just
It's kind
being
of
part
pain
of
right
Eve
off.
and
It's just
the whole
training, at least
social
this one.
aspect of it is something
He's
I
low
really
level
Do you have
too.
any
Watch,
social
he's
strategies for how you engage
he's
people?
been around
Like,
for
is
not
it
ever.
flag your go-to strategy? Is that
It's one of them. To say, like, normally I would define myself as like a shy introvert, but this is here. It's just like we're all here for the same thing. So it's like we already have something in common. It's like, okay, what are you flying for? Like, what are you doing here? And it's easy to just lead in with
Oh,
that.
she's 10 years old.
Yeah,
She's
absolutely.
2015.
Like people
I remember
who've
that.
maybe been playing since 2008, 2009, talk about what's the best thing to do in game. You can get into heated arguments, whether it's like nullsec, people want to go affection warfare. The wormholders usually say that you are just
the
playing in,
wormhole stuff,
like in an actual kiddie sandbox if you're not going into wormholes. It's like
Yeah, I gotta try that wormhole thing. What's my class?
the level and tiers of I don't want to say classism, but like snob that can happen with what you're doing in the game.
Oh no, 2003.
Right.
And she joined.
There's
Oh, okay. She's
different
been
tiers of
okay. See, I did start her. Look at that. That's amazing. No, don't know.
quite overwhelming at times doing. And then you have the people who are actually like figured
That's what
out that
clones-
switching between different
Factions, yeah.
playstyles, Eve is the best way. It's difficult to get to know something over the like a period of 1 or 2 years, and then try to switch up the way that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Going from like high sec mission running and mining to I did that first. I lost my first probe.
Where's faction warfare? Where's clone? Where's my clone stuff? You gotta make sure you're clone.
To a gate camp, and I still haven't like you get fed up with getting hot rot or ganked by small fleets, then you start gathering your own small fleets and stuff. You know, go into nullsec, like apply for groups like Pandemic Horde, who are a really good group. Again, CCP does not endorse any one alliance as the best alliance in the game. But and then once you're fed up with the politics of nullsec, you don't want to be the F1 line monkey anymore. You want to go into wormholes or find MIG-ISK. Some employees at CCP have taken to like decided to make it their mission to crack the way you're supposed to play wormholes, and they do that by themselves, just alone, and have great fun doing it.
The inventiveness of that you're allowed within the community too is something that, I mean, I'm a little biased because I feel like I'm one of those people who kind of like invented my own play style, but not actually undocking into ship and just talking to people. Like, that's what I like to do, is I like to hear people's stories, and so that's how it's not really a joke, but it's something I say sometimes, like that's how I play Eve, and I gravitate a lot of times towards other people in the community who have found their own niche in the same way.
Yeah,
like I mentioned,
Stacy get blown to
the
smithereens.
virtual photographer who I spoke to a few minutes, exactly the same kind of person.
Where the
Invented
hell
in
is
a lot of ways his
clone?
own way of interacting
Fittings.
with Eve in a way that nobody else
Magic
told him
offense.
was
Oh,
okay.
clone
Told him no one told him to go do that, to go, you know, become a fine artist, a virtual photographer within the virtual environment. But Eve is
Neural
revealing enough
remap,
to
I don't
allow
know.
you to experiment come up with your own playstyle.
Right, and that's a part of the infamous learning cliff, right? But it's not the what actual name of it? I can't remember. There's a graph. People know that graph. All the other games on that graph are dead. Yes, university. That's
Character sheet locations. Activity track. Oh yeah. Personal location. Shared.
but like that's the reason they will not have found like the reason those paths just made their own, and some others
I
were
still
paying
have
you.
offices, but we didn't pay the rent there. Interesting. Okay, so where the hell is my clone stuff? Sure, it's saved, but it's personal. Yeah, it's locations, character sheet. It says character sheet that should be doing my clone stuff. Jump clones. I think it's not easy. Clone jump available. Interesting. Maybe. Huh. Docking Ren 6, that's here. Install clone, yeah, okay. Augmentations. Home station. Self-destruct clone. Medical facility. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh. History. Ah, I can't remember. I'm gonna go somewhere there's a medical station. Anyways, enough of you. Hey, timed out. What the hell? That's
a particular person I have in mind, which has like he's thinking of making a character.
yeah, that's not the greatest dream, man. So that's why I'm not playing it anymore.
Like he's been at all but two, and that is a unique thing, definitely. And for
It's a flying spreadsheet. It is good though. It is good.
everyone, all of these people to come here, 200 to 300 people arriving to Iceland a day specifically for
That's
FanFest
pretty cool,
since
yeah.
last Sunday.
That's
It's
pretty
like,
cool.
It's those are numbers. What I think Iceland 350,000, 60 maybe the entirety.
Yeah.
It's a large portion of popular like.
Yeah, it's a big info. I want to go there, man.
Iceland is the
Sucks. I missed this one. Yeah.
records. Anything per capita you guys win at it? Apparently my mic died. Apparently my mic died.
Yeah, here we go. 5 hours, man.
Of course. No, but,
Okay, let's see if I
I
can train the
wanna
other
quickly wrap
guy.
this
I
up.
don't think I can.
We are going on until the closing ceremony starts at 16:30. So stick around, and you want to watch that to see this whole package being wrapped up.
Yeah, that's coming up fast. Okay, I'll see.
And then we will be back with a little word after that. But I want to thank you guys for joining me here.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for the presentation. It was immensely.
Yeah, that guy's was good.
educational.
You're right.
It's
That
wonderful to hear as a guest since the
MMO
beginning, and I get to
psychology
talk to the
stuff.
community again. I've been isolated a lot of the time on the West
Something
Coast.
Lord of
of
the
US,
Edge or
so I don't
something.
get a chance
Too.
to talk to
Oh yeah, I
people
couldn't
about
afford to
something that I
go.
really care
I got
about. So
exposed to
it's great to be here. So it's safe to say that you'll be back.
Cool.
We'll see. CCP has to go.
Office is expensive, honestly.
And
Yes,
Oh yeah,
thanks for
14
giving me the
million. Holy
time.
shit. Jeez.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, I have the same thing. I live in the South, so it's even worse. We feel like it's hard to find nerds, but this is where all the nerds
for
are.
sure. I live in Seattle, so it's not hard to find the nerds. It's a video gaming town for sure.
Oh, New Orleans is not really exactly, but I'm working on that.
Good luck. Good luck.
I got no skill. I want to be
You heard that?
enforcer.
Go to New
I'll
Orleans.
do that.
But
Right.
for us, now we're going to go on break, and we'll see you after the closing ceremony.
Soldier Fortune. No, I have a couple plans. Soldier Fortune. I've already done this stuff. What's that for Galante? Enforcer. Galante, he's Galante. Okay, so how do I do that Galante Enforcer? Alright. Okay. Right. Start training. Pause. Set. Yes. Okay, it's all good. Let's pause. Okay, why'd you pause? Because you can only do one at a time, I think. That's what's going on. 7 or 8, okay, that's fine. Like, it's because I don't have multi-pilot training, yeah, that's okay, never mind. That's fine. He's doing, okay. How much money is that? Let's see. Couple. Oh, you're okay. Oh, that's Corporal. What's mine? How much did you got? Yeah, you guys just spent 75 grand. Oh, you got coming out. Yeah, I had lots of plaques. That was okay for money. Okay, what's this ship before in here? Oh, that's an explorer. It's just a small explorer ship. Let's see. On there, inventory, personal assets, inventory, yeah. Ship. He's got this mine too. What is this? I see market data on it. It's not that expensive. Oh, it's 100. Holy jeez, these things gone up in price. That's good to know. 100 million. I guess that's not a lot of money nowadays. I do have some good stuff. More for cheap. Buck. It's a trap. Oh, it's bad. It's good to do. Sometimes you hit the button by mistake and you get it. That's why it's worth doing that. A few people playing it, huh? Is it a fan fest? How much is this thing worth? Video, huh? So what's the story of this ship? Freaking almost as expensive as Creed. I remember picking out, what was that last in the spring or whatever. This is one of the first pieces that you made available for capitals. It's had been. Yeah, I have to mention dangerous. Huh. Well armored. Yeah. I have a cloaking, but I can't do cloaking. This history of you refused to come into this technology. Military cost. It cannot be tampered with. That's cool, man. Sure should be true. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a cruiser and then there's a battleship. That's cool, man. Well, here's all the new ships. Cool. Oh, yeah, it's a new one. She just talked about that at the show. No, there's a new one. Alright. What's this? Nice ship, man. One more ship, that's cool. Really? What faction is that? I know each one. Okay, that's the original one. It's the Avatar Emperor. They have cool stuff. And then they got the Kalari State. What's that? Wow. And then they got Galante. Inventar is my favorite. Nomads over. Ooh, I would love to mention that. That's some cool stuff. Okay, what the heck is this? War. Oh yeah, it's industrial ships. Industrial. That's nice. What's that? Must be the money. Oh, that's big. Nice. And we got Pyre. ships. Yeah, some ships. Cool. What's that? Just a reskin of a Galante ship. Sasha Nation. Oh, that's different. Blood Raiders. That's a weird ship. Huh. Different. And they got Angel. I like the Angel cartel. Cool. I have one of these. I have this ship. Yeah, I have that one. Holy shit, for billion. Nice thing. What was that? Serpents? Does anything like this? No, it's okay. Yes, this is Eve. That was new. That's cool. So that's considered a frigate? Yeah, I'm not gonna cruiser and adventure. I like the cruiser and the frigate. Cool. Yeah, the frigate's cool too. What's it? Balanced drones and deterrence. Let's go. Huh. Hmm. So, $100 million for this thing? Jesus. Cool, huh? Okay, so what do I have? Well, hell, Ruskies play this too. A lot of Russian grievers. I want to see the finale, man. Yeah, actually do something here. I'm trying. Well, I don't know if this is a safe system though, I'm pretty sure. Like, look at that, there's 1,600 people there. Holy Jesus. It's pretty good. See, I find stations are just so massive, it takes away. It's so bad. It's weird. He's not gonna hang on the wall or something. I do like these new ships. Fittings. Where's my fittings? I did equip it. Not bad, I thought. Depleted. Oh. There, I have what's a ghost gun and a carbide rail gun and then Fuel extender and a thruster. Okay, that's good. Seems okay. And then why don't I have anything in here? Optimal impact track. What's this? More armor. Inertial stabilizer. Microzetic power core. Why is this still on? Put online, I can't put online? Why was it offline? It doesn't do anything to track me up here. Okay. Must have been before. Yeah, this, I mean, it's two guns. They're decent. I actually like it. It has a bay. You can have drones, can't it? Yeah. Prototype ghost cannon. It's got what's it called? I can't tell. 7 kilometer and 30 kilometer. Oh shit. Okay. That's not bad. Take on simple missions is not bad. Yeah, I don't know what the big. I should have watched what the big deal is this year. What the latest stuff is. I'm good with this. What's the security of the system? I can't tell. Here's my map. There's like a central hub, and all that. It's like a 0.9 is fine. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I don't have training. I need training. Oh, manage clones. There's daily challenges. Mine's more. Mine's more. Yeah. Sleepers. Huh. Interesting. I'll be back. Sorry, I don't know what's boring. I'm getting up to speed. What's going on, man? I like this thing. So, let me check something. It's the lowest level. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and is fighters what I call them? Or corvettes? Oh, frigate is the lowest. Corvettes the lowest. Interesting. I don't remember all of these systems. What does that mean? Oh, that's a special one. Yeah, it's too bad I can't cloak. I can't cloak. Things like Copter. Maryland. What's Maryland? It's just right. Okay. Alright, drone bay. It does have a drone bay. We got it for 15 minutes. That's good. Let's go. That's a drum. Is that the whole bay full? Fly around and look at this. See.
Pilots are reminded not to engage in unlicensed kiss-killing and that all items are sold illegally. Look on. Check on. Please take extra care during our renovation work. Welcome to Cheetah Trading Hub. Please note there has been reports of scammers in the local area.
No. Why would I do that? CPP. Sure. Oh, there it is. Ah, damn it. There it is. Yeah, I'll be back. Oh, frick. Screwing this up. Turn up, turn up, turn up. I gotta. It doesn't time out. That was kind of boring in the stream here. Just get you the vest on. I don't understand your thing then. Well, it's hard to do 8 hours of program on the fly. I'll practice though. Corpse advertising. What's that? It's only play a song right. I can't get slow. Yeah. Oh, I'm just going up here. Oh, it's all scammer. Well, activity. Well, you're supposed to help. Okay.
Pilots, please be careful of the debris
What's
while
up?
docking, and remember to turn your shield and armor fibers on before exiting the station.
45 pilots.
Pilots, please be careful of the debris as you are undocking, and remember to turn your shield and armor fibers on before exiting the station.
All right. Hmm. Oh, that's on here. I gotta make the spark figure. What the hell? What card? I just like. Why it's unavailable? Yeah, this is 2.6 though. Yeah, well, I'll take the risk. 15 jump. I did that with my other character though. Never mind. I got it to work. Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah. What? Go ahead. Oh. No. Oh no. Oh, it should be starting. Yeah, 4 hours ahead. You said it's starting at. Oh, it's not working out here. Sucks about the video. Oh, what's going on? I can't get into the stream. No! Just people are watching now, probably. I gotta change my connection. What the hell? Well, it shows it's still going. Okay. Strange. Go like this. There we go. We're breaking the internet.
Do
There
we
we go.
call them pets, pet them? Or do we pet them called pets? And it's just like, yeah, never thought of that before. Then while you're here in the venue, I hope you went and checked out the history wall. We had so much space and we still couldn't fit all the stories in that we wanted, so there was a lot of stuff missing. Of course, Boltec can't walk past the word Megatron without stopping for a selfie. And Katya Say was there too, and I took a little opportunity to get a snap next to their Guinness World Record story. The Eve board game was also being tried out. Did you get to try this out. Did you go look at it? Until FanFest, I'd only seen it on a screen like this big, like on a Teams call, where I'm like, yeah, I guess that looks pretty neat. And then I walked into the area where they're set up, and I saw they have that like 200% size version of it. And I was like, but it still looks super cool. So go to Kickstarter.com, look up for EVE Online, find this, type in your email address, hit notify, because I've been talking to these guys. They're already thinking about what they could do with expansions, like one with pirate factions and one with wormholes, and all of that is incumbent on this being successful. And if you'd like to have one of these on your game shelves, then you should definitely try and pick one up. But the first step is just letting us know how much interest there is. So, yeah, I'm sure the Pope, you must be sitting on a gold mine. All right, Kickstarter's cancelled. It's going to be funded by the Pope. Thank you, Your Holiness. Oh, okay. No worries. We have to pay him back. That's the only catch. Some of you took the time to brand yourself with EVE for Life, which is like a super amazing commitment. I haven't got one yet because I haven't decided what I want to get. I want to get the Caldari Navy logo. I think that would look cool. But I think if anyone saw it, they would think it's like, are you just some sort of try-hard Air Force guy or something? I'm like, no, I'm a nerd. That's way cool. And some people who weren't quite prepared to go that far settled for just getting their hair and makeup done. I would have done this myself, but, you know.
She was working.
But it was a great FanFest overall, whether you were just like catching up with your current space friends. And I want to thank the guy from NC Dot who gave me that, that machined aluminium token with the logo on it. It was one of those situations where I was like charging from A to B, and he stopped me. He's like, "Yeah, have this," and I was like, "Thanks." And it wasn't until like 5 minutes later I looked at it. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is cool." You know, I feel really bad just for pseudo ghosting him. And even some old friends turned up. Never far from our hearts. But speaking of friends, I want to invite on stage now one of my legitimately oldest space friends. We've been flying together for over 10 years was when we first started going on fleets together. Her name is Grey Gal, and she is the leader of the FanFest Volunteer Corps, and I want to bring them on stage as well, just so they can get the recognition they do for all the awesome work they do to help make this event run. So come on out here.
Thursday. It's not on tomorrow, huh? It might be such a...
Always good to be with you, man. Come on, guys. One of my best volunteer teams ever. Give my big round.
Well, it would be nice to be there this year. Man, 20 year, man. This is 20 year.
Hi. It's been a fantastic weekend, hasn't it? Full of history and mystery. And the volunteers have been doing this 10 years now. Did you know that?
Holy shit.
Yeah. We started in Vegas 2013.
How far out? That's when you sort of started.
Well, that's when I kind of fell into this.
Started your army sport.
Yeah, it just started happening. And now, what were we going to talk about first again?
Well, did you want to say a little bit more about the volunteers first, or should we talk about some of the side work that you've done at FanFest this year?
So let's talk about what some of the volunteers did this weekend. Besides checking everybody in, we raised a lot of money. We had a lot of shirts, yes.
Stuffed a lot of bags.
Stuffed a lot of bags.
Yeah.
But mostly, we welcomed you because without you, we wouldn't be here. And we want to say thank you to all of you and give you all of you a huge round of applause because without the players, there is no EVE. Without EVE, there's no CCP, there's no volunteers. So thank you to all of you. No EVE subreddit.
Actually, that might not be so bad.
So you guys,
blown out of the sky.
I can't wait to see the total numbers. I don't know the total number yet, but y'all blew us away with your generosity in the raffles, in the Capsule Pilots licenses, which, by the way, If you haven't picked yours up, you better hit me up really fast after closing. And the Wheel of Fortune thingy, the data thing, and
Should I just...
I know I'm crashing.
I think so.
This is how much you raised.
I was. Wow. $40,710.66.
Yep.
Wow. Wow.
So that'll be going to the Children's Hospital.
Directly to Children's
Thank
Hospital.
you so much.
We blew away last year. That's way more than last year.
You were
Right.
way cooler than all the people who showed up last year.
Okay. Oh yeah. So we we do have a little box. Where'd that box go?
Yeah. So there was a raffle running as well.
Yes. This little box contains about 4,000 raffle tickets, which wasn't what we expected it to contain because I was like, yeah, you know what? We usually go through about 500-600 tickets. It's a big one, you know. Let's bring like 1,500. That should be enough. And y'all bought 1,500 raffle tickets in 2 hours. We ran out of raffle tickets. We had several of the volunteers saved the day by printing some temporary raffle tickets, while others went to the printers to get some more printed. And we're going to draw the winner here, and the winner must be present.
Yeah. So have your ticket handy.
Now I know
You need to
some.
come down and show us the ticket so we can verify it.
Yes. Now, do we have a picture of the History Mystery Crate?
Say again.
That History Mystery Crate, which was
Oh,
found.
yeah, sorry.
Yes.
This is what you're playing for.
So yeah, there's quite a bit there, and there's a couple of things that are not pictured, which will be revealed here soon. But the scanners worked really hard to find this. It's been floating in space for about 20 years.
Some of these are really old FanFest T-shirts.
So-
I can tell. Like there's some stuff here you just can't get your hands
And
on.
I'm going to read the scan results a little bit here while y'all are digging through your tickets to see if you win this, since I know some of you have like 100 tickets, and it might take a few seconds to read it. Oh, somebody bought 150 tickets.
Shh.
So,
It's not HyperNet. Relax.
yeah. But we'll do a little pause. She has the holder, the keeper of, and Yana Brill, who has been a volunteer for, 8 years now, is going to draw it. And Insidious, why am I doing that today? Sorry, Insidious is the one who's going to be able to figure out whether it's a green ticket or a red ticket, because he's the one who actually got us the ticket. So, do the ready, guys? Drum roll. Ready?
Oh, the fast way this worked too.
Pink ticket.
Number
1305. Pink ticket 1305.
1305. We'll give you a second to dig through your piles of tickets. Now, where are those skip?
1305. Pink ticket. Oh, then you better check. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's some guy with 103 tickets. I'll be there in a minute. Just
So,
won't be long.
all right. So it includes things from 2003 and 2004, as such as the original Eve CD key sets. Got another 10 seconds to find 1305. Eve Vegas Whiskey Stones.
Well, yeah, it's the guy next
That's
to it.
okay.
Well,
And we've got signed by the developers at Eve Vegas 2014
Oh,
Eve
nice.
Universe book. Sorry, that was the Empire of Eve book. A
How long-
2015
How long
Eve
do we wait
Universe
before we
book.
redraw, GG? Sorry to interrupt you. How long do we have to wait before we
So we're about to go now.
Oh, you are? Oh, I
You
beg your
got
pardon. I thought you
Is
were
it?
going to ask the guy next to you.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's
Has he got it? Match it up. There's also an original Danger
that?
game with board. Is this our winner?
I have a ticket. You can take your pick.
It is the guy with 150.
Now, because the crate because the crate is Minotaur manufactured, we weren't able to carry it up here on stage. So you'll come over to our area, or we'll help you with it after the show. And what is your name? Oh, I remember printing your card. CPU 93939. In the initiative. Give him a round of applause.
All right.
One of the things not shown.
All right. Congratulations.
What are you guys doing with all those tickets in there? Oh. Of course it was the guy. One of the things not pictured there is a tile from the memorial.
Confirmed.
One tile. It even has little bits of concrete on the back. Okay, and that is a particularly special thing that I thought you'd appreciate. That is in there. Signed lithograph of the monument and World of Darkness, the Day of Darkness card pack, a few other things. The scanners, of course, are never 100% good, but we've also got a Valkyrie #1 comic.
There are other opportunities to get those pilot's licenses and still raise a bit more money for charity. We'd like to tell the folks about evecharities.org.
evecharities.org is for the viewers like you at home who have already contributed over $1,800, even though they weren't able to be here. So if you are watching this stream or you are here and want to order some additional Capsulator pilot's licenses for your corp mates, alts, whatever, just go to evecharities.org. It'll be available through Tuesday, midnight. Let's call it Pacific time, midnight. And by making a donation, I will then print and mail you a card within 10 days, and that'll be available through, like I said, Tuesday, 26th, right? And all of that money will also be donated to the hospital, to the Children's Hospital.
Awesome.
So I want to thank CCP for supporting this. This has been an amazing weekend. And all of you guys, just love you all of you. What else were we going to talk about? I can't remember.
That's about it. You've earned yourselves a break.
I'm about to break.
Yeah.
So, y'all gonna be at the party tonight?
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't do cheap drinks. She'd get away with it.
But yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
And if you haven't picked up your Capsulator pilot's license, you need to get there ASAP because it's gonna be shut down like really quick, so that way you can get it. And sir, the winner, CPU, we'll help you with carrying that out. Fortunately, everything's already in bags, but we can help you carry it out and make arrangements for it. It's over there, so okay. You're welcome. My pleasure. Thank you again for another fabulous Eve Fan Fest.
Oh, come fire.
Oh,
Take it.
all right.
Oh,
Let's
he's
head on
more
out.
suspicious. Get that good.
After you, my crew, my wonderful team.
That's cool, man. Not to be high level, you just take this.
Such a ham.
I forgot about it.
It's okay. All right. And I want to apologize to you, sir. When you said you were colorblind, I even thought that you meant that, like, you had looked at your tickets previously and misremembered the color. It was so I apologize for that. So, okay. Well, congratulations. The swag is yours. I've only got one last thing to do, and that is just to say thank you to our various partners for eFanFest this year. These aren't just people who swing into action necessarily for FanFest. Some of these are tech partners, marketing partners, people who work with us all year round to make Eve a better product. So thank you to them. And that's pretty much all for me. I am now going to hand this over to the VP of Product for Eve Online, CCP Walker.
Cool.
Hello, everyone.
It's live, right?
What an amazing fan fest. Have you guys been having fun? Yeah. The future is even bigger and brighter. And I want to go over some of the highlights that we have been talking about during FanFest. Starting with the new system opening up. And although capsulers are already exploring don't worry, you're not gonna miss a thing. It's all gonna start late next week when things will really start heating up in the Samsung system. Although some of you couldn't wait. So there was at least one capsuleer spotted logging into the system yesterday during the keynote. This expansion will make your organization stronger with automatic payouts, the new project manager role, and, as you heard yesterday, getting the first steps to getting lodges on Killmail.
What?
Havoc is coming in November, where you will be able to align with pirates to aid in the mysterious Deathless, the harbinger of Havoc.
Interesting.
And, of course,
I have no
Age of
idea.
Titans.
I'm so far behind. I'm just doing the sister stuff. It's funny.
And EVE Vanguard will be on PC. It will be connected to EVE from day one, and I can't wait to shoot you all in the face in the First Strike event in December.
Oh, it's EVE Vanguard. Oh, they're doing a first person again, like the PS3. Awesome.
EVE Galaxy Conquest will be released on mobile, a 4X strategy game set in the EVE universe. And Project Discovery has delivered a wealth of information to the global scientific community, and which thanks you all for your contribution. Ooh. And for the next iteration of the program, we will be moving into cancer research.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then, of course, the 20th Alliance tournament has been confirmed.
Remember, I will start playing this year.
It's going to
Depending on how
be
this mission
bigger
goes.
than ever, and we will be sharing more detail with you in the next coming months. And we welcome the 18th CSM, and we're looking forward to work closely with them in the next couple of months. We also want to thank the previous CSM members for all their hard work. So, next year we will be beefing up our attendance at player-organized events. We have already talked to the organizers of EVE Vegas, EVE New Orleans, EVE London, EVE Singapore, and we will have a presence at Gamescom next year as well.
Awesome. Oh, they're talking about EVE Vegas. I might be doing.
Which leads us to EVE FanFest 25. So we will be back in Hartman 25 in May.
Cool.
And tickets are on sale right now.
They're already on sale. Holy shit.
Really looking forward to seeing all of you there. With that, please join me in welcoming CCP Helmer to the States. Woo!
So, this is what you guys look like from the sky. I'm the tiny person there on stage. So we're actually calculating. This is 1,500 square meters of EVE fans. I think we can officially state this is the biggest FanFest ever.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a... Oh, is that some Danish measurement unit? Yeah, we have a complicated relationship with Denmark.
Yeah, that's right.
We performed some alliance shenanigans when we exited the alliance, but they were busy with other things. And here's a little bit. I like this picture. This is what happens behind the scenes. And that's again a call out to all the people that have worked extremely hard. Some here in the audience, some here in the back, all around on the stream and around the world. There's a lot of hard work that are going into this. And again, I want to take a moment to applaud everyone. please give everyone pulling this on
Yeah, that's cool.
great applause.
Okay, now we're ready. Gotta go. Essence.
Special thanks to the president for coming and allowing us to feel reasonable about our Eve addictions. I don't think any skulls have been split due to Eve. That is a big improvement. Leave the violence on screen is kind of the new catchphrase. Big improvement from times on. It's maybe not what you know. Maybe people don't fully understand this, but so following the speech, the president actually went to play football with CCP employees. This is not a joke. And CCP Ratati was really weighing his options. Should he go play football or just practice the keynote one more time? That was not because of the president. He just really wanted to play football. This is the country we live in. It's this small. Smaller than you. I learned so many things at FanFest. I was just now watching Andy Groen, who was telling about a museum about Empires of Eve in Madrid.
Oh, cool.
Like, think about that. We were talking about its pyramids all the way down. The history you have created, he has written, is now a museum exhibition in Madrid. Like, well done.
That's cool.
And so many like great conversations and anecdotes have come out of this. I've constantly reminded about things in even line we need to fix. The lodges are slowly getting on those key maps. Like, you're seeing there's a path to it, getting more and more relevant. I think we'll have to dedicate an expansion to that eventually. We'll get there in the third decade. Also, just like kind of little and small problems in Eve, always great to hear. I've had detailed conversations with people about new player bullying and HiSec and how we need to fix that. I've got an essay about like how Chaos need to come to wormholes from the Finnish contingents. It was a thick stack of design documentation that I gave to Burger to read. Meeting stables of FanFest. Space Pope is here in full force, fully recovered. Congratulations, Space Pope, being here with us yet again. So it's been just overall a great event. I'm so thankful to be here. Thanks all for coming. Thank you all for watching on the stream. I was watching the Twitch stream. There were about 11,000 people watching the expansion detail earlier today. People are really excited. Feedback so far has been, it's actually good. Which is high praise. So it's just been a smashing time. We're now not going to have this much longer. We have parties to go to. So I just want to end this one. If we all cheer once more and we say, Eve forever! So let's try again. So it's going to be 3, 2, 1. Eve forever.
Eve forever.
3, 2, 1. Eve forever!
You get a word for that? I better do that.
Thank you, and see you on the party.
See you tonight.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I was at the party. That's it. So they've been going, it's 8 hours. Yeah. It's 7 hours and a bit. Okay. Okay, this is how I look at that. Okay. I could hear this. That's pretty cool. I caught a bit of the fan fest at least. It sounds like Atlantic. Your music. That's funny. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Accept it. Space No One Can Hear You Party. What? What the hell? It's actually not bad. That's a song they made for the.
Hello, once again, and for the final time, this EVE FanFest 2023. I am CCP Goat, and I'm here to say thank you for following the stream. Thank you for sticking with us and watching everything that we had to show you. It's always an immense honor to get people to experience your show. And you heard CCP Helmar, reception has been mostly positive. It's kind of weird, isn't it? In all seriousness, you see, like you saw a little bit of why people come to FanFest. It's the community. It is experiencing others that have the same interests as you. Even if it's just to connect over how much, like, if it's to connect over how bitter you are as veterans in the game. We are, CCP loves all of you. Of course, we have now reached the end of scheduled content on the stream. The FanFest guests will have one more night of revelry, and I'm sure we will have a lot of fun listening to the bands that are going to be playing.
I hope somebody televised that.
Want to come in 2 years, in May 2025, in Harpa, which is considerably larger and more impressive than the sports arena we are in currently, then I urge you to do so. Hopefully I will be here to say hi to you, and along with all the other CCP devs. But
awesome.
Again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching all of our content.
Awesome.
I want to say
you gotta show the party, man. What the hell?
The staff that's been working behind the scenes here for this stream, making it happen. The excellent production quality was all their hard work, and I would like you guys in Twitch chat to give it like a good clap. Thank you guys so much for making this happen. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.
Wait. Oh, somebody streams the party. Okay, I'll rewind it now. Okay. Wait, I gotta check something. It's not on YouTube, eh? Awesome. So they went for 7 hours and 20 minutes. Not bad. Okay, if I go, one sec here. Go to CPP videos. I'll play their yesterday's. That was day 2. And that's day 1. Okay, what else I got here? Shooter 3. What's that? Yeah, well, I missed yesterday's. Day 1.
I want to thank everyone who took the time to travel to Iceland.
There we go. I'll fast forward it. Oh, I better pay attention. Well, yeah, I do now. You need to warp to the mission location. Warp to location. Okay, let's help me just a second. Fast forward. When did it start? Yeah, you call up.
I love him too. First wormhole candidate to be re-elected, I believe. I know, that's absolutely crazy. They
Yeah,
managed
that's
to
too far
organize
for us.
and then we give them and so far it's my honor to be here with us.
Here.
For 2023 FanFest finally here. The day is coming. How are you doing, man? Very good. I just told you I'm maybe a little bit hungover from yesterday. Yes.
Is that all over from all the parties?
It was amazing. We closed the bars down, but ready to roll today. I mean, this
Okay.
stage.
Just watching stream.
This is not your first FanFest, right? You were here last year. I got to hang out with you a little bit.
That's right. I had a presentation
Yes.
last year on this main stage, which is a little bit bigger this year even than it was last year, even if that's possible. But last year was my first year, so this is my second year.
This is your second year.
I'm already
Okay,
pro.
so what am I
So
supposed to do?
I went from last year
You
just
can't, you need
presenting
to
and being
approach
nervous about it to
Mimitar
now
battleship.
partying with everyone.
I like it. This FanFest has been a little bit different than other ones. We actually started a little. When did you get to Iceland?
I got to Iceland Wednesday at midnight.
Okay.
So just in time to kind of get 6 hours of sleep and
Yeah,
then head
straight
over to Groska.
It was a lot of people in Groska yesterday. We had like, I think
It's
on
not showing
Wednesday
up
we
on
opened
my-
up. We had like 270 people, 300 people get their tickets.
Right.
Then we had, I think, 1,000 people yesterday come and get there. It was a huge line of people hanging out, talking, chatting, socializing. It was insane. I've never seen that many people in Groska.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how many people would show up on the Thursday already because I mean it's new, it's 3 days, but it was absolutely overwhelming. Even for I already had my presentation yesterday, which is good because now I can relax and do this. But even the auditorium there was full.
It was I heard it was packed down there.
Yeah.
I mean, we had so many people and people were waiting in line, and instead of just waiting there the whole day for like an hour to get there, people were like, hey, let's go do this, go play bingo, let's go do the other things. We had lots of things to do at Groska. There was like a whole bar put up there as well. For those who don't know, Groska is the CCP HQ building that we currently have the HQ in. Today we are in a different place. We're in Laugardalshöll. We were here last year.
I won't try to pronounce that.
It's not that difficult. So you were here last year, but today's, I mean, this venue now, how do you feel about it compared to last year?
So when I saw it today for the first time, immediately saw it. Okay, it's double the size. Right. Last year I walked in here and it was already crazy large, and now the stage is just as cool as last year, but it's twice the seating. And if it's sold out, it's going to be mad.
It's going to be a little bit crazy. Yeah. What is it like for you to be at an event like this? When I mean, you're a known persona in the EVE universe.
For me, it's very strange because for 352 days out of the week, I go about my normal life. Nobody knows me at all. And FanFest starting at the airport, people will come up to me and say, "Hey, you're Oz. I know who you are." Fair enough. I wear this hat, so people see that. But here, I can't go like 10 meters without talking to people. It's awesome. I mean,
it is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of know what it's like.
Yes, I do. It's a very weird feeling when you're just at home, you're just doing your thing all year, and then you go to this event, and there's hundreds of people that are like, "Hey, you're that guy," right?
Yeah. So it's awesome. But having talks yesterday, I think I talked to 3 or 4 CSM candidates yesterday, and we're exchanging about how nervous we are about the announcement today, and chatting about learning about different parts of EVE. Doing the pub quiz yesterday. It's just it's so many interesting talks, emotions. It's the best week of the year.
and it's only just started. For me, it's actually been a couple of days already. We had on Wednesday a gigantic LAN at this place called Arena. We had 50 tickets that we sold to players, and we had 10 CCPers. So we had 60 players playing EVE in one room, and it was, I've never experienced something like that. We had 3 different fleets. I ran one myself. We had Kiakti and Virion. It was super cool.
Nice. I guess I would have been worthless as a market trader. I would have been just sitting there seeing what you guys destroy and buying.
It was a lot of fun. But then yesterday as well, we had that whole happening in Groska. I went out to dinner with a bunch of people that I fly with the initiative, a packed room of people. It's been an amazing time so far, and we've only just started. It's been great so far, though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the official presentation today. I think what CCP did now to kind of get the player presentations out on Thursday, almost all of them out on Thursday, and then today being a more like official, streamlined day. I think that works a lot because last year there was no way to watch everything
both at the same time. Yeah,
because you were missing so much stuff.
Yes, and what people really come to these events for is, I suppose, the keynote. That's what everyone's waiting to see. What are they going to be talking about? And that's happening today.
In the afternoon, right?
Yes, sir.
Move to the afternoon. I think for US time zone, it's better for the US time zone.
Yeah. It's also, I think we end today's day on the keynote at 3 o'clock, and then people can go, okay, and then we go out to dinner or we go out partying in the pub crawl lady tonight.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there?
I think so. I'll recover by then.
Yeah.
There's
no way you're gonna miss the pub crawl. Come on. I don't drink, but I have to go to these. I usually just go to one bar and just sit there and wait for the groups to come and then the next group to come. It's the best way to do it.
Last year I just waited at Kex for everyone.
I waited there with you. We were just hanging out.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The pub crawl is not the problem. My problem is I have a flight at 8 a.m. on Sunday, so the party on top of the world is going to be.
Gotcha. You're gonna save yourself for that one.
Yeah, no, I'll do everything, but that's the one where I kind of have to be sensible. I think.
Yeah.
It's either drinking or no sleeping.
Yeah, you're gonna be. But I mean, you've now gotten your player presentation out of the way. For now, it's just enjoyment for you for the rest of the weekend.
Yes, although I have to say, I think for me it's a little bit different than maybe for other presenters because I love what I do. Like presenting here, I basically, when I write my application to CCP, I say, please let me present because I do it on my stream anyway, and when I get to talk about it here in front of real life EVE fans and players, it's just awesome.
It is, yeah. Speaking about your stream, you have gone from just doing market trade stuff on stream to doing this Shark Tank thing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I like the Shark Tank or the Dragon's Den, depending on where you are in the world. It's called different things, and it really started when a few of the EVE trillionaires, got in a room on my show and we were discussing.
Sitting there with cognac and cigars and going,
that's exactly
how do we entertain the masses?
we all saw that our end game is just seeing that number go up, that ISK number go up, right? We always get told, hey, you need to do something with your ISK, you need to give back to the community, and so that's exactly what we're doing there. We're collecting ideas, then we pick 5. They pitch the ideas on my live stream, and then we give them money. And so far,
super cool.
Even the worst ideas have gotten money so far. So the chance is pretty good. The next iteration is planned for next week. So
awesome.
Two of the trillionaires have not confirmed yet. So it might be the week after. But it's going to be episode 3. It's the most fun I've had streaming.
Yeah, it's something that most other streamers could not do. They can't handle these kind of large ISK sums and go, hey, I want you to pitch me your crazy idea. Go and do it, right?
Yeah, and we get together and you can pitch from 5 billion to 100 billion, and we'll consider everything. And so far, we've just been we actually don't have nobody has said stop yet, unfortunately. So we're just gonna keep on going until somebody runs out of money.
If anyone at home has a crazy idea, how would they go about getting onto your show?
So I have a Discord server. So if you go to my Twitch, twitch.tv/Oz_Eve, there's a link to a Discord server, and there's a channel called Idea Submission, and you just put your idea in there, and then we select you for the show.
Awesome. Who are the other people, the other trillionaires?
So Eden Trade is one of them. He had a presentation yesterday as well. That was a great presentation, by the way, guys. I think it will be uploaded to YouTube at some point. He talked about how he became a thing. So he's one of them. Crota is another guy. He has a blog called Markets for ISK, and he basically has gone twice from 0 to $1 trillion just for station trading.
Wow.
Crazy. So that's Crota.
Why did he go to 0 again?
For fun.
Okay.
He gave away.
Let's take a run.
Giveaways. I mean, we're a weird sort of bunch. You know, there's not that many of us, but we're straight. And then we have another guy called Golden Sea, who does a lot of different things in youth, I should say. But he has a lot of this.
I love it. We have such a crazy community. Like yesterday, when I was at that Init meetup, we had I don't know 50, 60 people just crammed into a room. And then out of nowhere, after our glorious leader Darkside showed up, one guy pulls out a guitar and we start singing these songs that he had made with text on Discord. There was like a love song. Like it was the most ridiculous and awesome thing at the same time. It was such a feel-good moment. Just players finally meeting up, hanging out, and just doing what we love, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally no other event in the world that I can imagine where, you know, I come into a room and I feel like with everyone here I have something to talk about, and I get asked so many questions, and you know, and all these interactions are just really cool. Love it.
They really are. Speaking of interactions, some of you might know about the Ishtar incident that I had many years ago, where I got a little frustrated trying to kill an Ishtar in a typhoon. I ended up self-destructing that ship. I got to meet that Ishtar pilot yesterday. He went to Bjorn. That Ishtar incident thing, that was me. I knew the day would come one day. Turns out the guy was AFK around his house cleaning, getting pinged on his phone like, hey, this streamer's trying to kill you, dude, you need to come back. And I failed utterly, and I got to meet the guy finally. Got a selfie with him and everything. Yeah, it's awesome. So we have an insane amount of people coming here today. I think we're sold out. This is it's hard to say it's the biggest thing ever, but it literally is the biggest ever. I think next year is going to be hard. How do you present next FanFest when, you know, this is the biggest one we've had so far? It's 20 years of EVE. We've got lots of people coming back that maybe are like, you know what, I need to go see what's happening for the 20th, right?
I talked to a lot of people yesterday that were here for the first time, and because of the 20th anniversary. Yeah. And I talked to at least 2 people who say they don't play the game anymore, but they came for the 20th anniversary.
I heard stories like that too. People that don't play it, they're like, you know what, but it is the 20th, I need to go to Iceland. And man, you know what, we were meant to have like a hurricane that was meant to maybe hit Iceland. Instead, we've had this most beautiful time. I woke up this morning, I looked out, and I went, oh, thank God.
I mean, the weather's really good. It's chilly, and last night coming back from the bar,
I thought we were gonna have like hurricane winds with like 1,000 wet nerds sitting in it. Thankfully, that is not the case.
But you know, about coming here without playing the game, it's I think the announcement is starting. That's what
apparently someone's already announcing something. I have not been told to hand this off back to you guys. But if that is the case, then I guess us, we're going to be here the whole day talking to each other.
Absolutely.
Oh, I was supposed to blow that up. Use this game again. Ships and bugs.